everybody, I've got a very deep voice. You'd think I'd smoked 100 cigarettes today. Maybe never have I smoked 100 cigarettes. I have smoked in the past, years and years and years and years ago, but I haven't smoked that many cigarettes in a day. However, my father did years and years ago. He smoked 100 cigarettes when he lived till he was 94, 95. On his 90th birthday, we made a t-shirt for him, and it said, when he was in the Navy, in the French Navy, he helped to fit out a battleship, and they had to wrap asbestos. Him and his group had to wrap asbestos around the pipes, so he had asbestos. And like me, he used to play with mercury in his hands. I used to play with mercury in my hand and put it from one hand to the other and watch it go like a globule. And then he used to smoke 100 cigarettes a day, because when you're in the Navy, they gave you lots of cigarettes to keep you happy, and bottles of wine, glasses of wine. And right until he was 94, he drank a good glass of wine every day. He said it was his medicine. And then, what else did he have? He used to use acid a lot when he was a young boy. And what else did he do? Oh, he chopped his thumb off, no, his finger off when he was 9 or 10, and he chopped his thumb off when he was 80. And he did a few other things, and we thought, I don't think you could use all these things. You could do all these things, but it's either in you to survive or it's not in you. And I don't know why I'm telling you this. Anyway, I have got a deep voice. Only if I try to go deep like this, you see. I can talk higher, but I have got a deep voice. Anyway, I'm not going to take too long, because I don't want to end up coughing too much. I slept well. I am very positive. Do not worry about me. Don't worry about me. I am fine. I'm positive. I'm far better than he was. And I've always been brought up, don't let the buggers grind you down, so don't let it affect you, just get on with things. So, let's get on with things then. And we shall start, because it's only a two-hour advent calendar. We're going to only be doing that one. And this one, the big bag, I might do the Sherlock Holmes first. So the Sherlock Holmes one is called A Cold-Blooded Killer. The West India Dock Road was still covered in a layer of frozen fog at this early hour of the morning. Microscopic crystals hung motionless in the air and obscured the already murky Limehouse area of London. Mr. Holmes was standing on the steps of a drab and dreary building. At his feet, the body of a partially naked young woman lay hunched on the ground. Her shabby coat, skirts and dirty gloves were strewn in the dirt, along with one of the brand new knitted hats, which were being distributed by the welfare ladies in areas like Whitechapel and Limehouse during the spell of cold weather. The scene in front of the house was as squalid as the whole area. There were no Christmas feelings of joy apparent in this godforsaken spot of the London metropolis. Also on the steps stood Miss Grace, the mistress of the institution. Mr. Holmes, these poor girls, all of them, in this here house, they're too young, far too young, for what they end up having to do. And it's too dangerous too. It feels like there's never a day goes by but a girl comes to a sorry end in this here area. And none of them crimes is ever solved. Punters and all sorts of riffraff are everywhere. They comes and goes as they please. Take the sailors, for example. Here today and gone tomorrow. You can get away with blinking murder in these narrow streets. It's scandalous, she said with the utmost feeling. I appreciate your agitation, said Holmes, and the problems in Limehouse are sadly only too familiar. But first things first, Tell me what happened last night. The same as every night. The girls headed off as dusk turned to dark to go about their business. And like every night they came back in the early hours of the morning with just a few pennies in their purses and a lot of gin in their heads. Only Long Evie weren't in her bed this morning. I found her here at the bottom of the steps, her clothes torn off and thrown on the ground for all anyone cares. Murdered! Her knees and elbows rubbed raw. Gruesome it is on such a freezing winter's night. Find the swine who done it, Mr. Holmes. Good lady, I think we should go inside and have a quiet conversation over a cup of tea. And we'll find out what happens. And this voice goes well with the woman who's a lady of the, who manages the ladies of the night. Oh dear me, I shouldn't have done that. Right. Katie and Kylie and the Machine. Kylie and the Machine, and it's number 8. So where is, oh, number 8 is this one at the bottom here. Can you see? What's she doing? Oh, she's fitting something onto a dressmaker's mannequin. Can I get it off? I'm going to have to use my little cutter. Where is it? Oh, there it is. One across that way and down. We've had a kind of quiet day today. What have we done? Not much. Yesterday we were tidy after we'd cleaned the carpet. Oh, I'll tell you in a minute. 3. Oh, sorry, I haven't shown you, have I? 3. Is it 3? 3 labels, green ones. Ooh. And what do the green labels say? 1, 2. Yes, 3 labels. Oh, I like these ones. I think these are probably my favourites so far. I make my own clothes. Can I say that? I make my own clothes. That's lovely, that. I like that one with the sewing machine. I make my own clothes.
Because I don't recognise your voice. To get set up on this device, log in.
What's she going on about? I never even talked to her. So I've got 3 I make my own clothes. So what was I saying? Oh, we had a quiet day. Yesterday when we did the carpet cleaning, his lordship decided he wanted to change the whole room and move furniture into the conservatory and get rid of stuff, get rid of our office desk that we had in there from during lockdown. And it's made into a massive room. Now he wants a new sofa. So we went out today to look for a sofa. We went to the second-hand shop first to see if there's to the Heart Foundation charity shop to see if there was anything we liked. Typically male and female, husband and wife. I liked that one, he liked that one. So I said, I don't want that one, and he said he didn't want that one. So we decided we wouldn't bother. Then we went to Dunelm, because I said there were some nice ones in Dunelm. But he's got a stipulation of how long it's got to be. We both liked a couple of them, but they were too long. So he's been on a mission on his laptop, looking for a sofa to go in that room. And in the end, I think we found one in IKEA. He wants a short one. The short one that I have in its place we got from the Heart Foundation. It was actually meant for the conservatory, and when we moved furniture around the last time, we brought that into that room. It's the most uncomfortable sofa we ever came across, and he sits on it, I don't, and he wants shot of it, he wants a new one. So we've seen, he has seen one in IKEA, which I have approved of. But whether it's comfortable or not, I don't know. So I said, well, previous to that, I said, we've never been to IKEA for a long time. So he said, come on. He says, tomorrow we'll go to IKEA. And he's claiming that he can get into the car. Now the car, his lordship's car, has spent more time in the garage since July than it has on our doorstep. It's spent July, August, September, to the middle of September, in the garage after the accident, because it took forever to get parts for it, the bodywork parts. And it wasn't, to just those of you who didn't watch the vlog, it wasn't, it was me driving, I was the innocent party, I was pulling away at traffic lights just slowly, and a car went flying across and clipped and took the front of my end of my car off, or his car, because he was driving mine at the time. There was, when he got it back, it was due its MOT. That was why I was driving it, to take it down for its MOT. There were things damaged, parts of the engine were damaged, which the insurance company refused to cover. Apparently it's common. They say, oh well, it's not a new car, so it's bound to have been rusted. And so we ended up paying £700 to get that repaired. Then a few weeks later, he was driving along and it was making a racket, so he had to take it in to get sorted. And that has cost us another £700. And then he gets the bill from the insurance company, bearing in mind he paid £5,000 for this car, a second-hand car. I think it was 3 or 4 years old when he bought it. He paid £5,000 or £6,000 for it, I think. It cost, including the hire car, the cost of the accident cost £8,000. So in total, £8,000, which they'd claimed from the guilty party, £8,000 plus £1,500 altogether. That's £9,500. They'd have been better off just telling us it was a write-off and letting us get a new car. So he was livid about that. Anyway, when the car went wrong again, they couldn't get the parts for them again. This was some computer circuit that was linked to the exhaust or something, and he needed two of them. So we finally got it. I mean, it's been in the garage for 4 weeks, and finally he's got it. So he wants to go for a drive up to IKEA. So we will be going up to IKEA tomorrow in his car. I said, do you want to go in mine? He said, no, I want to go in my car. So let's go for the caboodly doodly doodle. Caboodly doodly doodle. No, beyond the pink door. I always get it wrong. Now number 8 is an interesting one, because number 8 in this caboodle one, Caboodle Textiles. Some people keep saying, where's it from? Caboodle Textiles. It is an expensive pack, some people said, but they said that they appreciated that the stuff inside is quite good. And we'll go back to Sherlock. Now my camera's just gone off there. I'm hoping that you caught everything, because I can see the record button if I come up close, but it's blending in, it's tying in with the side of there. If I turn you a little bit, then I can see the record button. A cold-blooded killer. So Holmes has told this lady, I don't know what her name is again. She is called, what was she called? Miss Grace. Miss Grace. He said, come on in, we'll have a cup of tea. Dear Miss Grace, I'm very sorry about what happened to this girl, but may I venture to say that I don't think it was murder. Rape and defilement and cold-blooded murder it is, Mr. Holmes. As plain as a pikestaff. The landlady stared at him threateningly. I know the goings-on here very much better than you do, you. Forgive me for interrupting, but the evidence points in a very different direction. When you say cold-blooded, however, you are most probably right. Now pay attention, my good woman. Your fledglings came back drunk from a long, cold night out on the streets. Sad, very sad indeed. Now let's assume for a moment that Long Evie was too drunk, cold and exhausted to unlock the door of this establishment, and sat down on the steps for a minute to catch her breath. A far-reaching error of judgment that probably cost her her life, as we shall see. The discarded clothes are a significant clue. Now, we often refer to it as paradoxical undressing. During hypothermia, the blood first collects inside the body around the most vital organs, withdrawing from the extremities in order not to cool down further. At a later stage, however, all the blood vessels expand for no comprehensible reason. Suddenly, warm blood from within the body shoots back and into the practically frozen limbs. This leads to a paradox reaction. The body misinterprets the sudden warmth signals, feelings of heat, and begins to sweat. The body misinterprets the sudden warmth, signals feelings of heat, and begins to sweat. Those affected often start to undress immediately. Another clear sign of hypothermia are the bright red chilblains, mainly on the elbows and the knees. Poor Evie, what a pitiful life you were forced to lead, and what a pitiful death you died. The killer was none other than the freezing weather, but all those who deliberately close their eyes to the suffering in Limehouse are equally to blame. So there you go. She died of hypothermia. No murderer at all. And I'm going to have to stop. And I shall say the same thing as yesterday. My voice is going... I'm going to have my cup of coffee in there. I am well. I'm fit up to there and fit there. Between there and there I'm not fit. But up there I'm fit. And from just below the hard sore neck I'm not fit. But below that I'm fine. So don't worry about me. And so I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you. And hopefully catch you tomorrow. Bye.